let's talk money. What's up, you guys? It's your girl Sarah, and welcome back to the channel. Or if you're new here, hi, hello, annyeonghaseyo, kumusta? Today, we are getting down to the nitty-gritty, the tea, the real deal about moving to the land of maple syrup and apologies. I'm talking about the cost of living in Canada, specifically for all my fellow Filipinos out there who are dreaming of that snow-filled life. Today, we are getting down to the nitty-gritty, the tea, the real deal about moving to the land of maple syrup and apologies. I'm talking about the cost of living in Canada, specifically for all my fellow Filipinos out there who are dreaming of that snow-filled life. A lot of you have been sliding into my DMs asking, Sarah, is it expensive? Can I afford it? Will I have to sell a kidney to buy a coffee? And the answer is, well, it's complicated, but I'm here to break it all down for you. So, grab your Tims or your Kopiko 3-in-1, whatever your vibe is, because we are about to do a deep dive. I'm going to be your financial fairy godmother, but like the brutally honest version who tells you that yes, those shoes are too expensive. We're going to dissect everything from rent, because Lord knows that's a monster, to groceries, transportation, and even healthcare. This isn't just about throwing random numbers at you. We're going to compare these costs directly to what you might be used to back home in the Philippines. I want you to walk away from this video feeling informed, prepared, and ready to make the best decision for your future. Because let's be real, moving abroad is a huge, life-changing step, and the last thing you want is a financial surprise attack the moment you land. This video is for all the dreamers, the planners, the ones Googling how to survive Canadian winter at 3 a.m. We're going to get you ready, period. I'm laying it all out on the table. No sugarcoating, just facts with a little bit of sass. So, if you're ready to talk dollars and pesos and figure out if this Canadian dream is financially for you, then keep on watching. Let's get into it. All right, let's start with the biggest, scariest monster in the room, rent. You guys, when I say the rent here can be wild, I mean it is on another level of existence. Back in the Philippines, you might be paying, what, 15,000 to 25,000 pesos for a decent condo in Manila? And you think, okay, that's a chunk of my salary. Girl, hold my poutine. Here in Canada, especially in major cities like Vancouver or Toronto, you are looking at a whole different universe. We're talking like 2,500 to 3,000 Canadian dollars a month for a one-bedroom apartment in the downtown core. Do the math, babe. That's over 100,000 pesos. I know, pick your jaw up off the floor. It's a shock to the system. Now, of course, it's not all doom and gloom. You don't have to live in the most expensive part of the most expensive city. If you move a little further out into the suburbs or look at cities like Calgary, Edmonton, or even Montreal, the prices become way more manageable. You could find a one-bedroom for maybe $1,500 to $1,800. But even then, that's still a significant jump from what we're used to in the Philippines. And don't forget, you often have to pay for utilities on top of that. Hydro, which is electricity, and sometimes heat and water. In the Philippines, sometimes that's included, or it's just not as expensive. So when you're budgeting for rent in Canada, you have to think bigger. It's the main character of your expense report, and she demands the spotlight. So, the key takeaway here is to do your research on the specific city you plan to move to. Don't just Google rent in Canada, because that's like Googling food in Asia. It's way too broad. Look at apartment rental websites like rentals.ca or Padmapper for the city you're interested in. Join Filipino in Canada Facebook groups and ask people what they're paying. Many Filipinos start by renting a room in a shared house, which is a great way to save money and not feel so alone when you first arrive. It's all about being strategic. You can't just wing it or you'll be living off instant noodles for a month, and not the good kind. Okay, next up on our financial reality check tour, groceries. This is where things get interesting because it's a mix of, oh, that's not so bad, and wait, how much for a mango? Let's talk basics. Things like milk, bread, eggs, and chicken are actually pretty comparable in price once you do the conversion, especially when you consider the higher wages here. A liter of milk might be a couple of dollars, which feels okay. You can go to big stores like No Frills, Superstore, or Freshco, which are like the Canadian versions of Pure Gold or SM Supermarket, to get the best deals. You learn to shop the sales, collect the points, and become a coupon queen. It's a survival skill. But, and this is a big but, if you are looking for your taste of home, prepare your wallet for a little bit of pain. That bottle of Datu Puti vinegar, that pack of Lucky Me, Pancit Canton, that jar of bagoong, it's going to cost you a premium, babe. You'll find them in specialty Asian supermarkets, which are a godsend, but they are imported goods, so the price is marked up. And fresh tropical fruits? A single mango can cost you like $3 or $4. I literally saw a small papaya for $8 the other day, and I almost cried in the produce aisle. You will learn to appreciate the simple joy of a cheap mango in the Philippines like never before. So my advice for groceries is to adapt. Embrace the local produce. Apples, berries, potatoes, carrots. These are your new best friends because they're affordable and always available. You learn to cook with what's in season. But also, budget for those taste of home splurges. Don't deprive yourself of your favorite sinigang mix or chalk nut because that's part of what keeps you happy and sane. Just be mindful that your grocery bill will be a blend of Canadian staples and Filipino treats, and you need to account for both. Overall, you can eat well without breaking the bank, but you have to be smarter and more intentional with your shopping than you might be back home. Let's talk about how you get from your expensive apartment to the expensive grocery store transportation. This is one area where Canada is very, very different from the Philippines. Back home, we have our jeepneys, tricycles, FX, grab a million and one ways to get around for relatively cheap, even if it means sitting in traffic for like 300 years. Here, your options are basically public transit or owning a car, and both come with their own set of costs. Most major cities have a pretty decent public transit system with buses, trains, or streetcars. It's reliable, it's clean, and it usually runs on time, which is honestly a concept. A monthly pass for public transit in a city like Toronto or Vancouver will set you back around 130 to 160 Canadian dollars. That's like 5,000 to 6,000 pesos a month. It sounds like a lot, and it is, but it gives you unlimited rides, so you can go anywhere, anytime. It becomes a fixed, predictable expense. For a lot of new immigrants, this is the way to go. You don't have to worry about parking, gas, or the scariest thing of all, driving in the snow for the first time. It's convenient, and in the long run, cheaper than a car. You just have to get used to planning your trips around a schedule and maybe walking a bit more, which is good for your health, I guess. Now let's talk about the ultimate Canadian dream and nightmare owning a car. The freedom is amazing, but the costs are a lot. First, you have to buy the car. Then you have car insurance, which can be hundreds of dollars a month, especially if you're a new driver in Canada. Then there's gas, which is way more expensive than in the Philippines. And maintenance, because cars love to break down in the winter. And parking. Don't even get me started on parking. So while having a car is great for road trips and big grocery hauls, it is a massive financial commitment. My advice? Stick to public transit for your first year. Master the bus routes, become a pro at reading the train map, and save that car money for something else, like a plane ticket home to visit your family. Okay, let's get into a topic that everyone talks about when they mention Canada healthcare. We always hear that it's free. And in many ways, that's true, but it's not as simple as just showing up and getting everything covered from day one. In the Philippines, we're used to a system where if you have money, you can go to a private hospital like St. Luke's or Makati Med and get seen right away. If you don't, you go to a public hospital and wait. We also have Fil-Health, but we all know that has its own set of dramas. Here, it's a publicly funded system, meaning your taxes pay for it. When you arrive as a new permanent resident, you have to apply for a provincial health card. The T is, there's usually a waiting period, often up to 3 months, before your coverage kicks in. During that waiting period, you are not covered. Let me repeat that. You are not covered. So, it is absolutely crucial, non-negotiable, you must do this or else, to get private temporary health insurance to cover you for those first 3 months. Imagine getting into an accident or getting sick during that time. The hospital bill would be astronomical. It would literally ruin you before you even get started. So please budget for that initial private insurance. Once your provincial health card is active, it covers most essential services. Doctor's visits, hospital stays, emergency care. You don't pay out of pocket for those. It's a huge relief not having to worry that getting sick will bankrupt you. However, things like prescription drugs, dental care, and vision care are usually not covered. You either need to get a private insurance plan through your employer, or you pay for those things yourself. So, while the core system is amazing, it's not a magical, everything is free card. It's a huge step up from the Philippine system in terms of accessibility for major issues, but you still need to be prepared for those extra costs that pop up. So, we've talked about rent, groceries, transportation, and healthcare. Let's put it all together and get the final score. What is the real difference in the cost of living between Canada and the Philippines? The bottom line is this: your daily and monthly expenses in Canada will be significantly higher in absolute numbers. A 100,000 peso monthly budget, which would have you living like a king or queen in Manila, is basically the starting point for survival in a major Canadian city. The scale is just completely different, and you have to mentally prepare for that sticker shock. The numbers will look scary at first, but, and this is the most important part, you cannot just compare the costs. You have to compare the income. The wages in Canada are also significantly higher. The minimum wage here can be around $15 to $17 an hour, depending on the province. If you're working a professional job, your salary will be even higher. So while you're spending more, you're also earning more. The key is the ratio. Your rent might take up 30 to 40% of your income, which is similar to what many people pay in Manila. It's just that the numbers are all bigger. The goal isn't to live cheaply, it's to earn enough to live comfortably within the Canadian context. What should Filipinos expect when they move? Expect to be a budget-conscious queen for the first few months, or even the first year. You'll be converting every price back to pesos in your head and having a minor heart attack. That's normal. You'll learn to meal prep, take the bus everywhere, and find joy in free activities like hiking or walking in the park. But you'll also experience a different quality of life: safer streets, cleaner air, more efficient public services. The trade-off for the higher cost is often access to opportunities and a social safety net that might not exist back home. It's not better or worse, just a very, very different balancing act. And that is the tea on the cost of living in Canada versus the Philippines. Woo, that was a lot of numbers. I feel like I just did my taxes. But for real, I hope this breakdown gave you a much clearer picture of what to expect financially if you're planning to make the big move. It's a huge decision, and being prepared is honestly the most important thing you can do for yourself. It's not just about chasing a dream. It's about building a sustainable and happy life here. And that starts with knowing where your money is going to go. Don't let anyone tell you it's easy, but also don't let the numbers scare you away. It's all about planning. Now, I want to hear from you. This is a community, you guys, and we have to help each other out. If you're already living in Canada, please drop a comment down below and share your own experience. What was the biggest financial shock for you when you moved? Do you have any money-saving tips for our kababayan who are just arriving? And if you're still in the Philippines and have questions, ask away. There are no stupid questions when it comes to planning your entire future. Let's get a conversation going and support each other on this journey. And of course, if you found this video helpful, if it cleared things up for you, or if you just enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up. It really helps the channel out. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss my next videos. I have so many more guides and stories to share with you all. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.